Section 18, Brokerage Legal Hotline Q&A, Arizona Market Introduction, from brokerage rules to real-world questions. In Section 17, we discuss non-licensed activity, subdivisions, and property management. Now we move into real brokerage questions that come up in daily practice. Brokerage compliance is where paperwork, supervision, compensation, disclosures, listings, and license status all come together. The legal hotline examples in this section show how one small misunderstanding can create risk for the agent, broker, client, and transaction. Broker review within 10 days. A designated broker must review each listing agreement, purchase agreement, non-residential lease agreement, or similar instrument within 10 days of execution by placing the broker's initials and date of review on the document. In one legal hotline scenario, a broker thought the 10-day deadline meant 10 days after close of escrow. That was incorrect. The deadline runs from execution of the document, not closing. The broker may not lose the license over that mistake, but ADRE could still impose penalties for non-compliance. Best practice, broker review should happen early, not after the deal is over. Unrepresented buyer in an owner-agent sale. A listing agent is also the seller. A buyer submits an offer without their own agent. Can the transaction proceed? Yes. There is no requirement that every party be represented by a real estate licensee. However, the listing agent and brokerage should confirm in writing that the buyer is unrepresented, so there is no confusion about representation or duties owed. Team splits and broker supervision. A brokerage team wants to split between two franchise offices, keep the same team name, and have one office supervise part of the team. That does not work if the agents are licensed under different employing brokers. An agent may only perform real estate services on behalf of the employing broker, and each brokerage is responsible for supervising its own agents. One brokerage cannot delegate supervision responsibility to another brokerage. Felony disclosure to ADRE. A licensee must disclose a felony guilty plea to ADRE. Under ARS Section 32-2153 and AAC R4-28-301, licensees may face sanctions for certain convictions, dishonest dealings, or failure to show honesty and good character. The legal hotline explains that a licensee, including the broker, must report certain convictions, judgments, or adverse actions to ADRE within 10 days. Best practice, disclose required issues quickly and truthfully. Hiding the issue usually makes it worse. Licensees must be paid through their broker. If a licensed person performs work requiring a real estate license, that licensee may only accept compensation through the broker to whom they are licensed. In one scenario, a licensed brother assisted his licensed sister. If he performed licensed duties, the sister could not pay him directly. Compensation must flow through the proper broker. CPA and non-licensee services. A CPA may be paid for CPA services, such as reviewing financial documents, as long as the CPA is not performing acts that require a real estate license. This is the key distinction. Professional services are allowed within that professional's lane, but non-licensees cannot be paid for licensed real estate activity. Listings belong to the brokerage. If an agent leaves a brokerage, the listings do not automatically leave with the agent. Listings belong to the brokerage firm. However, if the brokerage does not want to continue working with the owners, and the owners want to follow the agent, the broker may cancel the listings or assign them to the new brokerage with the seller's written consent. A seller may demand that brokers reduce commission before closing, but a listing agreement and co-broke agreement are contracts. Brokers are not automatically required to reduce their contractual commission claims. However, remember the professional conduct rule. A licensee cannot allow a commission dispute with another licensee to jeopardize the client's closing. Closing thought. Brokerage compliance is about control, clarity, and documentation. Who supervises the agent? Who owns the listing? Who gets paid? Who must disclose? Who reviewed the file? If Section 17 showed us the risk areas, Section 18 shows us the real-world brokerage questions that test whether the office system is working. Online discussion question 1. Why must broker review happen within 10 days of execution instead of after closing? Answer. Because the purpose of broker review is to catch issues while the transaction is active, not after the transaction is already complete. Question 2. Why should an unrepresented buyer's status be confirmed in writing? Answer. To avoid confusion about who the agent represents and what duties are owed to the buyer. Question 3. Why must licensee compensation flow through the proper broker? Answer. Because Arizona law requires licensees performing licensed activity to be compensated through the broker to whom they are licensed.